and let us solve our daily problems. So the candle is very useful, and I promise I have such a candle and I use it sometimes. This candle is your personal candle, and it's made by Moritz, Sonja and me.
Sonja. Some of you may not know how we ended up here today with Adrian and Kristen. As we know, Adrian and Kristen are somewhat unique people, and the history of how they met and eventually started dating does not predictably end right here. They met over 10 years ago when Kristen's brother Mike moved into a Chico State, into his dorm. Kristen was along to help him move in, and Adrian was also moving in down the hall. They didn't know each other at the time. Over the next few years, Adrian and Mike became close friends, and finally roommates for several years. When Kristen would visit, they say, that she and Adrian always seemed to have a connection. But Kristen was a sorority girl at UC Santa Barbara, and Adrian, well, he was not. He was happily not a frat boy at Chico State. Kristen graduated from college and stayed in Southern California, and Adrian moved out of the country to live with his family in Austria. Several years passed before they met again. The summer after her first year in law school, Kristen was taking a class in Salzburg in Austria, and Adrian was living and working in his father's hometown of St. Wolfgang, which is quite close to Salzburg. Mike, knowing that they would be near each other that summer, facilitated the meeting. They had a couple of great days together, and despite what they described as their obvious connection, the timing still wasn't right. Kristen went back to finish law school, and Adrian stayed in Austria and worked what would be his final winter, even though he didn't know it at the time, as a ski instructor in Seefeld. The following spring, Adrian came home to the U.S. for Mike and Megan's wedding. Finally, the timing was right. After some well-executed twirls on the dance floor, neither Kristen nor Adrian looked back. After spending one final summer apart, Kristen in Walnut Creek and Adrian with his brother in Idaho, Kristen convinced Adrian not only to stay here in the States, but to move to Los Angeles, where she finished her final year of law school. Adrian's plans to return to Austria fell by the wayside. And 3.5 years later, here we are. It really is Adrian and Kristen's differences that make their partnership so strong, and the strengths of each that support the weakness in the other. Adrian and Kristen, today each of you is risking what you are for the sake of what you can be together. I would advise you to always nurture this partnership with respect for each other's strengths and acceptance of each other's differences. In keeping faithfully to your vows and by promising to each other the best that is within you, it is my hope that your life together will be long on years, short on tears, and that your home will be a place of peace. We have gathered here together friends of many years. Many of them have been blessed with long and loving marriages. Ken, Diane, Bev, and I talked the other night about what builds a long and happy marriage. Patience with the world, with one another, and also with oneself. Sometimes the latter is the hardest. Respect for each other, for friends and strangers, and again, respect for yourself. Acceptance of differences. Differences in people are not only inevitable, but glorious. To really know someone is to acquire the knowledge of how they are different, not only from you, but from all of humanity. To gain this knowledge is a gift. Accepting these differences is a gift of love. Compromise. Compromise not only out of love for one another, but also out of practicality. Give and take is essential. Life is full of bumps and bruises. Don't let every little adverse event become more important than it is. Empathy. We can't really walk a mile in each other's shoes, but we should try. Seeing something as you believe your partner sees it can be enlightening. Communication. This can take many forms, all important. Words, glances, notes, gestures, use them all. Most of all, as Pearl Bailey said, the deed of love is stronger than words. The most important communication is in the way you express your love for one another in everything you do. Openness. Be open and honest with your partner. Share the good things, and more importantly, the not so good things. From that exchange, your relationship grows ever stronger. Humor. The Lord knows this may be the key to success. The ability to laugh at each other, and most importantly at oneself, is priceless. It is not called the human comedy for nothing. We also need values. Values are both what make us human and give us worth as a civilization. Some of the important ones include integrity, honesty, charity, faith, and kindness. I believe Kristen and Adrian understand and exemplify these values. No important foundation exists for a lasting, loving marriage. Some 40 years ago, another wedding took place. Some of you were there. When Ken and Diane married, the following poem by Khalil Gibran was read. I would like to read it again today, both because of the truth it contains, but also the continuity it demonstrates. On marriage. You were born together, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when the white wings of death scatter your days. Aye, you shall be together even in the silent memory of God. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone. Even as the strings of a lute are alone, although they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. Now I invite Mike, Kristen's brother, to read a passage he's chosen.
This is a Buddhist saying, and it definitely applies to today, but it can apply to every day from this point on. This day is a special day. It is yours. Yesterday slipped away. It cannot be filled anymore with me. About tomorrow, nothing is known. But this day, today, is yours, so make use of it. Today you can make someone happy. Today you can help another. This day is a special day. It's yours.
Kristen and Adrian, this ceremony is the first step on the path of your life together as husband and wife. So let us come together now as families and friends to witness, to support, and to celebrate the union of Kristen and Adrian. Kristen and Adrian have prepared their own vows, which they will read to each other now.